Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Tracey,
I'm Carol.
and we are My
Outlander.
Purgatory.
.com.
I hope everyone is doing well this week because we're back in Scotland. We're out of France.
And we have plenty to
And we have
say.
plenty to say. Carol, how are you today?
I'm very good. Drinking the same damn thing I've been drinking for a week. Cavit gets the job done.
I try to mix it up a little. Although I did have some Cavit. Well, actually, my husband used the rest of the Cavit to cook something, and I was like, really? But I'm trying to mix up the drinks a little bit. And since it's Memorial Day weekend here in the US of A, and everyone's going to have their barbecue and they're like sitting out by the pool, I decided I would make myself the first mojito of the summer with, here it is, with this little straw and this little umbrella.
Oh, it's very cute.
And it's got some chocolate mint from my garden in it. I did not grow the limes, unfortunately.
Did you just say chocolate mint?
Yes. You never had chocolate mint? That's really good.
What's chocolate mint?
It's mint that tastes vaguely chocolatey. It's got like a.
What are they, like crossbreed mint?
There's all kinds of mint. You didn't know that?
That's really cool.
Because
isn't there like a lemon mint?
Yes. We have to have a new segment, and it's called Things That Carol Learns in the Outlander Recap. Last week, it was
Breaking
all
the
about the fourth
wall.
wall. Have you read? It wasn't even so much like the comments on the blog, but on YouTube, everyone was like, yes, I know what the fourth wall is. Carol, how do you not know what the fourth wall is?
Who was the one? I think it was a guy. Was it a guy that was like, Carol, you seem to know so much about TV. I'm surprised you don't know this.
And then everyone's like saying different shows that they break the fourth wall on.
First of all, I had to laugh at people. Like, I was like, okay, it wasn't that I didn't understand what it meant. I just wasn't familiar with the term. But honestly, the more I thought about it, I was like, I'm sure I've heard that, but it's just not something I use in my daily life.
So now you know that there are different kinds of mint. In my garden, I grow peppermint, lemon mint, and chocolate mint. And the chocolate mint is really good. But I've seen cinnamon mint.
Did I not suggest lemon mint? I believe I did.
Yes.
Carol is not as much of a dumbass as you're making me out to be right now.
There might be some orange mint. I don't know. There's tons of different mints. But
this is bad that I'm already going into the refrigerator.
What?
The freezer, actually. Excuse me.
Is she doing a refill? Are you doing a refill? Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes. Well, Carol's been waiting for me to be ready for a while because I was like at work late and then I had to watch the show again. So she waited very patiently. We should explain that we're trying to like solve some of the sound issues that we've been having. Like I tend to sound a little farther away than Carol for some reason. So that sound has like been like
my acoustics are bad because I don't have rugs in here.
Hence these, which I hate wearing these. They just like, at least if we had really cool like professional headphones where we could go like this and like talk like this and like preferably like with cool radio microphones. But this just looks like I'm, about to go out for a run. But it sounds better.
Okay, you know what?
And again, another thing we do.
I'm going to run in there and get wee Ian's gamer headphones that come with the microphone.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So we could look like we're like in war games and we're like, or like some movie where, they have to talk to like the big,
Yes.
Like Jumbotron screen, like, because it's a matter of life and death.
I wore them when we were on with Outlander cast because I was like in the basement. So I was like, I better wear something really good.
Okay. So anyway, it's Memorial Day weekend. We're good to go. We're here with episode 208 called The Fox's Lair.
Otherwise known as the shark jumping episode.
Yes. All right. So we need to discuss this before we go on because we didn't really discuss this last week, I don't think. And we did Hang Outlander with That's Normal on Monday. And when I tell you guys, I'll give you like a little behind the scenes scoop. We totally forgot to talk about it. And like normally when we do that show, like after the on air goes off, we just, chat with the ladies for a while after that. And we were all like, damn it, we totally didn't talk about jumping the shark.
But Tracey, we did last week.
Did we a little bit?
Yes.
I think we mentioned it, but we didn't really delve into it.
Then there was like a bit of controversy, not controversy, but people disagreeing about it because one person was like, Diana said that was not true, or they already proved that not true. And then another person was like, Diana said that it was, and blah, 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 blah. And I was just saying like, oh, come on. She was just saying it tongue in cheek or whatever. She wasn't really being. So let's start with the beginning of the episode and we'll get to it.
All right. Yeah, we do have to talk about that though, because I'm kind of sad because I was starting to have some really good theories. In fact, I really need to put in my notes, like, talk about theories so I don't forget. Of what the jumping the shark would be. For those of you who have been under a rock, Diana had said that there was something in an upcoming episode a couple weeks ago that was jumping the shark. And there was a lot of speculation that it might have something to do with theory. And clearly it did. But anyway, we'll get to that. Okay, episode 208, The Fox's Lair. The writer is Anne Kenny, and the director is Mike Barker, who he might have directed another episode back, like maybe 5 or so, I don't know. So the first clue that this may be some shark jumping is Nell Hudson in the credits. Did you notice that? Yeah, I did, and I was like, okay, so maybe that is it. But anyway, that took a backseat just to the new credits. And they're all Scotland all the time, day and night, all English. The French is gone. We are out of France, you guys, and it feels so good.
Thank God, because you know what? I don't know how I got so completely attached to the beginning, the starting in one season, last season, but I really did. I mean, I wake up in the morning to the Song of the Druids, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's really creepy when you set your alarm in the morning and you wake up to. Wait, it's creepy.
That's your alarm?
I set that as my alarm, on my iPad. So that wakes me up in the morning.
Do you have a sound of that? And where'd you get it?
I downloaded it off the internet. Bear McCreary, hello.
Oh, does he have like ringtones and stuff?
Hey,
I
yes,
want that as my ringtone.
Go onto iTunes. You have to go onto iTunes. Yeah. So anyway, you guys, okay. So I downloaded that and I wake up to that in the morning, which I love. So I'm so attached to that first starting. So when I saw this, the first thing I said to Tracey was, it's back to the original starting. Yay!
Yes, I should say that Carol and I watched it at the same time and we're texting each other back and forth as we watched it the first time. Can I just interject a little story that I forgot to tell last week? It's just, I have to just say for the non-book readers, like we cannot emphasize enough that France is just really, it messes with your mind, man. And
yes,
the way I can illustrate that is I was chatting with somebody I work with who has read, 4 or 5 of the books, saw most of last season. She didn't see the last couple episodes, but she hasn't watched this season. So she was saying, how is it so far? And I was like, oh, it's pretty good. It has some ups and it has some downs. And she just looks at me and she goes, France. And I was like, France.
And now you guys all see why we've been like, oh, France, poor France. And again, we don't want anybody from France who's watching this to be like, I can't believe the way they're, talking about France. Fictional France, as Tracey always says, nothing ever good comes from fictional France. And that is why you now have seen France. You've been in and now you're out. And now you get why we've been like, oh, France. It's just a major, it's phenomenal storytelling, but it's just, in some ways, it's such a downer.
Outlander. It's just not Outlander.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So credits are Scotland. It was just awesome. I was totally fist pumping. Like, we're back, baby. We're back. There's all new credits. There's nothing really gross. Like, Claire is clearly showing up somebody's cut, but you're not seeing it go in like or whatever. So all good. And then we get to the Easter egg, and it's a fox, and significance is pretty clear there. But I will say it was very cool. Like the fox was all like, but then at the very end of it goes like this. And like stares into the camera. I don't know how they got that fox to do that. Like it took really good direction.
I saw the fox and I was like, this isn't really very cryptic. This is pretty obvious.
Yeah. That's like, this was like Captain Obvious. Okay, so yeah, it was a pretty creeptastic, as I put, creeptastic look to the camera at the very end, which was cool. So, what do we see? But we are back at Lollybrook. Carol, I can't even believe you're putting that coat on because I'm like...
All right, focus,
okay,
squirrel.
Okay. We're back at Lollybrook, and all is right with the world, y'all.
Let me tell you something. This episode was like... Shannon used to say when we were reading the series that there were some parts of the series that, might not have been so exciting or whatever, but she would say after you went through this whole exciting few scenes, then you would get to, something that was just kind of calm. And she said it was like Diana always knows how to make her feel like she's in her favorite comfy chair. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of part of it. I felt like that. I mean, I felt like it through the whole thing, but some of it was exciting. But I really felt like that. Like I was just back in Scotland.
I know.
There were 2 dinner-fashes in like a 2-minute time. Oh my God. And have we ever heard so much of I got in trouble for saying Gaelic, the Gaelic out of Jamie. And I mean, holy cow.
I know. I mean,
so awesome.
Like all of the Gaelic, I'm just going to say it, of like up to this point in 7 episodes, could fill about 7 seconds. And you couldn't swing a dead cat without some Gaelic this time. So it was awesome. Great scenery, great knitwear. We're back.
This is terrible. I couldn't remember which baby that was.
It was a new baby. It was, and the only reason I know this is because I was reading the book a little bit before we started this to look for something, and so it's baby Catherine. But I think, do they call it baby
not
Katie
Katrina
or Cat?
Why did I think it was Katrina?
Because Katrina plays Claire.
It was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I thought there was a nickname or something, but I don't know. Not important, I guess.
But did you say that you calculated? Because I was like, wait, she had another baby already?
Oh, I was
had a baby when they were traipsing through the woods looking for Jamie.
Well, Jenny pumps him out like. Pretty,
holy crap! You are not kidding.
But like, how long has it been since? So it really sort of gave you a sense of time. I mean, Claire like got pregnant while they were away, basically. Mm-hmm. That's sort of. Although in the TV show, not really. I think she was probably pregnant before.
Yeah, she had to have been in Lollybrook.
Jamie.
It happened right before he got taken.
Right. So. I don't know that they've been away for... the time's a little screwy. I ain't gonna lie. The time's a little screwy. Because that baby was what, like 3 months old-ish? 4 months old? Yeah, the time was a little weird. Because Jenny would have already had been pregnant, but she was nursing like a mofo. She just had the baby! She just had the baby like 2 seconds before Jamie got taken last season.
Well, please, because the woman was like... traipsing through the woods lactating. I mean, come on now.
Right. So the time frame is really kind of screwy there. But whatever. It's all good. Whatever. The baby's cute. So we're back at Lollybrook. I will say this, like the whole sequence, the potatoes, and Claire was so right, and like now what are they going to do with the potatoes? And Jamie and Claire are like all, kissy, and they're so cute, and they're back to being Jamie and Claire in Scotland and all in love. And in the book, this sequence, like Carol said, goes on for a while. Like you just are like living your life in Lollybrook, and it's all good.
Comfy
and we
chair.
had about 4 minutes of that, and then it was like
comfy chair.
Boom, Jamie, here's a letter for you. Boom.
And then you're like, what did he just say? Wait, I just have to say that I was so excited that Fergus has friends.
I know.
It's so awesome to see Fergus with little kids, his own age, hanging out.
With all the other kids. He and Robbie are going to be besties now.
Yep.
So what else? So the post comes, very cool that they got a letter from Jocasta, who I don't know if she has been discussed ever on the show.
I don't believe
she
so,
is
no.
the aunt of Jenny and Jamie. She is Dougal and Colum's, I think, older sister. I don't remember. Sister. And that's all I'll say for now.
Yeah.
She lives in, I believe she lives, well, I don't know where she lives at this point, but there we go. So that was nice. So yes, so Jamie gets a letter, and I couldn't tell who it was from. I think it was from Charlie, right?
Yeah, I thought it was from Jared.
So I didn't know if it was Jared or you think it's Jared?
We went through this while we were watching because Tom and I were both trying to remember from the book. We're like, wait, didn't he get a letter from Jared? But Jared, I keep saying Jared like a T. It's Jared.
Jared, like he went to Jared.
It had the Stewart crest on it, and it was obvious. The bottom line is that Jamie, his signature was forged on the list of all the Klansmen and everything who have signed this pledge to Bonnie Prince Charlie.
Right.
So regardless, I've watched it because I just watched it when I was waiting for you, and I'm like, who's this letter coming from? I believe it was Jared, but I thought it was Jared saying, "I'm so proud of you for joining the cause," type of thing. Right. Look, here's your name. I'm so proud of you. Right.
And he the Stewart crest was on it, but maybe it's just because he's Jacobite. And nowhere in the letter were the words "mark me." So I'm really thinking it was Jared and not Charlie.
Okay, and I was so bummed. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, because in last week's episode we had Louis saying, not only will I pardon your husband and get him out of the Bastille, but I also will make, write a letter.
And get him pardoned in England too.
Yeah, so he can go home, And so here we are home for friggin' 15 minutes, and this damn letter comes, and now there's going to be a price on his head again.
I know. My God, can Jamie not catch a break?
No, he can't. He's Job. Jamie is Job.
All right, so he's branded as a traitor now. Pondering whether he got a haircut when they left France because his hair was shorter.
Okay, wait, I was getting to that because I was saying, what did he say in the Gallic when he was like, "Oh," and then he said, and then I have, why is Jamie's hair so short? Because they went outside. Claire and Jamie went outside, and poor Claire, she's not angry. I like Scottish Claire because Scottish Claire isn't angry. She's just totally shitting her pants. So Scottish Claire is so they're outside, and all of a sudden I'm like, did Jenny just cut Jamie's hair when we weren't looking? Because all of a sudden it's completely shorter than it was not only in France, but about a minute and a half ago while he was cursing in the Gallic.
Yeah. Well, he has to look all pretty now for Charles and the brigade. So, maybe Jenny cleaned him up or whatever. I don't know. All right. So
I like it better a little shorter too. I think it looks nice.
Yeah, I think so too. But now he can't put it in the ponytail anymore. And I love Jamie's hair in the ponytail more than anything.
More than anything?
I love it in the ponytail. But I guess that's just a France thing. I don't know. Now that he's back to being his old Highlander self, he's got to be all wild and shit.
Yes, and he's telling Claire all of the things that she did to change history, because Claire's all doubting herself, and she's like, we're not going to be able to do this. And he's like, what, you're doubting history now? I mean, you're doubting that we can change history? But explain to me why he was like, I didn't understand this. I hope it's something that's, he was talking about,
going.
What?
I know where you're going with this.
He was like, if it wasn't for you, Louise wouldn't have been able to, bear Charles Stewart's child.
No, but that doesn't mean he changed history, because he doesn't know what it would have been like, what would have happened. Well, he doesn't know what would have happened if Claire has it. There's not documented evidence that in history, in 1940, if you look back through history, that kid that Claire saved really died. Or there's not documented evidence that Louise didn't have a kid.
Right.
So that's a big difference.
What is his point? And explain to me what part Claire had in getting Louise pregnant with
No,
Mark Me's child.
No, Claire talked her out of getting an abortion.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
It makes
she
sense.
didn't want to have it, remember?
Right,
She was going to get rid
right.
of it. Or drink the bitter cascara or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to
she
say,
gonna
bitter cascara. She wasn't exactly going down to the clinic.
Do you think the bitter cascara stayed in France too? Or did Claire bring any, like, just in case she, like, runs into somebody like Lord Lovat? I'm surprised she didn't, like, bring a little and be like,
Lord Lovat, have you ever heard of bitter cascara? Here's my necklace. Lord Lovat, I know you love your tea to be poured for you. Let me pour yours. All right, okay.
All right, we'll get to that. Go
on ahead. Go ahead.
So the plan is that they're gonna join the war. They've rounded up the Lollybrock men. And, like, what's up with the Lollybrock men? What if the Lollybrock men are all like, yeah, like, whatever. Let Charlie fight his own war. I'm not fighting for what? You know, Lord Fraser or whatever the hell they call him. Lord Brock Turek. What the fuck? What?
What the what? I was just enjoying some mutton.
And I get this letter that I'm going to war.
What? And they're like, go send the French kid. He's old enough.
Okay. So they rounded up the Lollybrock men. They're going to go meet Chuck. Jamie and Claire are going to take a detour and stop and see Lord Lovat, the grandsire. And Jenny is not happy at all.
Jenny was on a tear at this point, and she's all, what do you think you're going to do? Love it? What? And all I could think of was her sing-songy ending everything up high, which I know in Tom's Cousins, the way they speak. But I'm thinking to myself, are there a lot of Scots in Allentown? Because that's the way Jill's people speak. And anybody who's from the Allentown area of Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, but everything is, are you going? Did you go? You know what I mean? And Jenny's all, no good can come from it. And I'm thinking to myself,
how great was it to have Jenny and Ian there? I mean,
comfy chair.
I know.
It's awesome.
I love Jenny so much. I love her. Okay.
I love her.
Okay. So Claire and Jamie are back in their bedroom, talking.
Notice the face fall.
What?
Keep going.
I don't understand. What?
They're back in their bedroom.
I don't know. They're talking about something, and they start. Well, I had something else I was going to comment on. What?
Vertical leg hitch?
Yes. Jamie leg hitch.
I was like, Tracey has to be dying at this.
I shouldn't have used it last week with King Louis because that was like
because Jamie, not to be outdone.
I think I'm gonna have to figure out how to do a triple screen of the Edward, King Louis, Jamie, and everyone can vote on the best leg hitch. Clearly Louis is out of the picture, but now, this is a tough one. This is a tough one.
And this is what I'm talking about. This is the face fall. You give us the leg hitch and then ease on into the next scene.
Let's go to bed, Jamie. Next scene. Next morning.
I was like, I'm sorry, does she have feathers in her hair?
No. You know what, though? I just remember what the next scene was, and I love the next scene so much. So I didn't really mind that much.
Wait. I just want to finish the fact that what did they cut it? Did they cut a scene? I'm sitting here like, here it comes. It's been a while. and you know what? Don't give me a hard time because not you. I'm not the one who's like, I want the sex scenes. I can't stand that when I'll say, oh, I wish they had done whatever. And people will be like, oh, what do you only care about the sex? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I loved Twilight. There were no sex scenes in that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just was like, again, comfy chair. I just sort of felt like, all right, this is a perfect place for them to, and then And I'm
There was
like,
so much other
are
stuff to
we
get through, though.
are we never getting another one ever?
I
I'm
know.
starting to get
There's
nervous.
too much crazy Leary shit to get through. Come on. We don't have time. We don't have time for that sex stuff. Come on. So yes, best leg hitch ever.
Can I back up a little
Arguably,
bit?
yes.
What did you think about when Jenny and Jamie were filling Claire in? I'm backing up a little bit. I'm sorry. We'll go right back to this.
Mm-hmm.
When Jenny and Jamie were filling Claire in on Simon Fraser, on Lord Lovat, it almost seemed like there was so much backstory they had to give. They were like dancing around practically. Like, to me, it seemed almost choreographed. Jenny's like, oh, and then Jamie, what do you think? And Jamie's like, well, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I almost wish Claire would start narrating at this point.
She couldn't. She doesn't know any of that.
Did you notice any of that?
I mean,
I
didn't notice it so much there. I noticed it way later on when Jamie and Claire are like, they have to run through the rain to get back to their room at Lord Lovat's house.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just like expositionlicious. That was just like, well, it's a good thing that we were able to do blah, 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 because,
yeah.
oh, and don't you agree, Jamie, that like...
That's how I felt with
but
the scene.
What if we don't do blah, 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 blah? Then, that will... Then we have the choice to do da, 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 or da, 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 da.
This scene with me with Jenny and Jamie seemed almost like I had seen Hamilton, but it sort of reminded me. Like, I just thought to myself, are you on stage? Like, I felt like Jamie was going to do a cartwheel before he sat back down and said, well, love it. All right, keep going.
I did like when they were both like, when Claire was like, how do you know Lord Lovat? And like, they were both like, he's our grandsire. Like, they're like, he's our grandsire all together.
Okay. This episode, grandSIRE is right up there with Bitter Cascara, okay? I'm going to let you say it because I'm not going to take it away from you. The next scene that you loved, because I loved it too. Say it. Jamie.
And the
baby.
Cutest scene there ever was.
Speaking the Gaelic.
Claire wakes up. She looks for Jamie. She kind of hears this like... She goes like, to the banister or whatever. And there's Jamie, this little baby talking Gaelic to it. And you just melt into a puddle on the floor, and there you remain. That's it. It's just the cutest thing. And then, of course, Jenny comes out and has another patented, like, awesome Jenny monologue about,
God,
like...
shut up, Jenny. Just shut up. We know.
We know. It. No, she has, like... She, like, says... And I don't think that monologue is at that part, because I came across that part when I was reading, looking for whatever I was looking for. And it's very quick. Like, Claire just sees Jamie speaking Gaelic to the baby and is kind of like, goes back to bed because she doesn't want to, like, he's just kind of, she knows what's going on. And Jamie might have that monologue later, I don't know. But she just always has, like, Diana writes the best shit for Jenny. Like, I'm sorry. She just does. It's just really, really awesome stuff.
I agree, but I get a little tired sometimes of Jenny and her lectures. And not lectures, that's not the right word. But I also felt like at that...
Her wisdom.
What?
Jenny's wisdom.
Yeah, and I felt like Jenny could have... All I could feel at that moment was Claire looking at Jamie with this baby, knowing that their baby died. And Jenny saw... I don't even remember what Jenny was saying at this point, but blah, 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 blah. And I thought, give Claire, throw her some chum, give her a little, Claire, you're going to have another one. Don't do this to yourself. Like, you're going to have another one. I just wanted to hear that, and I didn't, and I was bumming.
I didn't think of it that way, and maybe part of it is because I know how it's Claire in the book sort of describes it, but she doesn't look at it as like, I looked at Jamie and I saw him, the father that he was not and could have been. No, she sees that he's like pouring out his soul to this baby because the baby, like, it's easy to, like just what Jenny said, it's easy to talk to a baby. You can talk to the baby in a way that you can't talk to anybody else because the baby's not going to talk back. The baby's going to listen. the baby's just sort of sitting there.
The baby's gonna sleep through it.
Like, so you can sort of like share parts of your soul with the baby that like you wouldn't be able to do to somebody else. So that really has nothing to do with like, fatherhood or loss of child or whatever.
Wow.
So I didn't quite see it that way, but I get you, because I think that having Jenny talk about that aspect of it helped sort of allow that portion, the mother-father loss portion, to sort of be reflected in Claire's face as well. So you kind of got both of those feelings, or both of those layers in this whole scene. But I thought primarily Jamie was just, telling the baby his fears, his hopes and fears for the future.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with it at all.
Oh, no, neither did I. I mean,
I just wish there was that element added to it, because, especially, for if you've ever gone through, I never went through the stillbirth, but if you ever gone through a miscarriage and every pregnant person you see after that, you have to it's upsetting. And, I remember having to leave a store because everybody seemed to be pregnant in front of me. You know what I mean? So when I saw, so when I saw that scene, that's what I thought of. Claire's sitting here watching him with a baby. I mean, I'm stripping it down to its basic level.
I think it's a point well taken, and I think maybe that's why Jenny was sort of a device to talk about it from the context of Jamie pouring out his heart and soul to somebody, right? So that Claire could sort of have that, layered context over that of
we didn't know what Jamie was saying.
Well, Jenny sort of alluded to, you can talk to a baby in ways you can't talk to anybody else. And so I mean, you can sort of, we don't know what Jamie's saying in the book either. I think Jamie is saying that he's scared of what's going to happen, and
that's what I thought he was talking about, his life and what's going on right now. And I didn't really think he was. Yeah.
Right.
But I still felt bad for Claire, and I think that should be pointed out, that I've given
Agreed.
Claire a hard time when she's deserved it, and I'm also going to give her some props and some love when she deserves it. Mm-hmm. I felt for that woman at that moment, looking over that banister and seeing her husband holding this baby, knowing that their baby died, and
and he never got to hold her the way she did.
I need to walk away.
Okay, step away from the baby. Step away from the baby. Breathe. Okay. So that was a great scene. It's adorable. So next morning, I guess it's the next morning, I don't know, but they leave. They say goodbye.
Fergus says, "No way in hell are you going to leave me here with these people." I thought it was very sweet. Fergus is now their son. I mean, really, that's kind of what Jamie was like, the boy stays with us type of thing.
Do you
know
think
what
he
I
has
mean?
a better bedroom at Lollybrock than he did?
I am going to hope that he's not flowers in the attic anymore. And up there but who knows?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All I needed to see was Fergus and those other kids, and it was like all was right with the world.
I know. It's great. Okay, so they go off, and they have one of those patented shots of Jamie and Claire riding across the moors or the fields or whatever. Riding this way, riding that way.
I love that.
Riding this way, riding that way. And they arrive at Lord Lovat's. I think we get some narration, the Sly Fox or whatever the hell he's called.
Enter.
They arrive. They're in the drawing room or the study or whatever. They're talking, and then you hear, dun, dun, dun. It's Colin McKenzie.
I heard that voice, and I was like,
that sounds an awful lot like Colin McKenzie. It is.
Horribly, I couldn't remember in the book. I'm like, was Colin there? I don't remember.
He looked very different. He looked like he was grayer.
Was he there in the book? I don't remember any of this from the book. Him and Lovett striking up and that doesn't mean it didn't happen. That just means it was years and years ago that I read this. So I think it was
No, he was not.
6 years ago, maybe?
This is
7 years ago?
actually, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for in the book, and I couldn't find it because I needed to be done, like ready, like too quickly, and I didn't have time to look for it. I was looking for this Lovat scene because I wanted to know. I mean, I will say this, the whole Leary stuff, that's all, like, that is, that is not from the book. As
oh God, we didn't even get there yet.
I know, but I'm just saying none of that is in the book at all. But them going to see Lord Lovat is in the book. I just don't know where. I just couldn't find where. And I will say, I'm going to say this because I always say, okay, we'll talk about it later, and then later never comes. I was bumming because there was a scene in the book where Claire and Lovat, like, she was like in his study or whatever, and they kind of had it out. Was there like a scene between the two of them? I'm sure there was. Wait a minute. I can't remember the Lovat stuff. I don't
because
know why.
I love him. I love him. And he's awful, awful, awful. If you read about him in history, he was terrible. Like, the last beheading, and they beheaded him like on the same chopping block that they used for like Anne Boleyn. And at the Tower of London. Yes. Okay, he was the last beheading. If I'm correct, he was. It doesn't sound right, but I have read that. I believe he was the last beheading at the Tower, and he was notorious for never coming clean. He was always with this side, with this side, with this side, with this side. He was awful, but at the same time, I find him to be one of the most fascinating characters ever, regardless of whether it's tied into Outlander or not. So watching him was so awesome. But I really felt like there was a head-to-head between he and Claire at one point, and I didn't really get that. I was kind of bumming. Yeah, I thought at one point it was going to happen, too. Maybe it was when Claire, like, sees the seer, like, tossed out. Like, I thought at that point, like, the seer gets tossed out, she runs away. I thought Claire was going to, like, barge in there and be like, what are you doing? Like, didn't you throw the seer out into the hallway? But you know what? Claire was really not caring last night about her whole witch status. Whoa, we'll get to that. Let's holy cow! Yeah, I got a lot to say about that. Even the seer is laying there. A lot of us would have been like, "Should I help?" But Claire is like right in there. Let me help you up. All right. So there's Colum. He's there as well to discuss the rebellion. What a quinky dink. They've got all kinds of up in his face. So Claire and Jamie, of course, are like, oh yeah, we didn't think we'd see you again. Since as given that you almost like had me killed, bitch. And he's like, oh, I had nothing to do with that. He laid actually, that. But you know what? What I said was, in my notes, he had nothing to do with Cranesmere. True? I honestly don't know. I don't think we ever found out. It's never really. I think, though, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Diana probably has said. Wasn't it made a little. In the show, he didn't have anything to do with it, but I don't think that he permitted Dougal to go and stop it, or he was very like cagey about allowing someone to go and stop it because the show was different. How am I forgetting his name? Ned Gowan. Like I think snuck out. Like I honestly don't remember. Dougal was off with Jamie. Oh, true that. But didn't Ned like Ned wasn't supposed to be going over there, and Colum would be mad if he found out, or I don't think Colum sent Ned. I went back and read this at one point because I was like, I have to know, and I walked away thinking that Colum really did sort of orchestrate the whole thing. Oh no. And that's not to say that's what happened. That's I think that's how I perceived it. The reader/viewer is left to make his or her own decision. Yes. That. What? No, because you don't even have to. Because do a little Googling. Although if you haven't read the books, don't Google. But Diana answers all this stuff all over the place. So in walks Lord Lovat. Dun, da, da, da. I am
such an idiot because I don't know the actor's name. In fact, you know what? I have to IMDb this because
I will. I swear I know him too. I'll do it. You talk.
Okay.
I'll do it.
I thought he was great. I thought he looked exactly the part. Sean Connery was always my Lord Lovat for whatever reason, but this guy, like, perfect hair, tall, like, really had that Fraser height.
Yeah.
He reminded me a lot of Billy Connolly, actually, which is really weird. Like, it made me
Billy
think.
Connolly, though, he's funny. I don't see
But
Billy
I think that this would be like Billy Connolly's like serious role. You know, like sometimes Steve Carell like does these serious roles, even though like you're really used to him in Anchorman or whatever. I think that would be his serious role. But I don't know why it made me think of him, but it did.
All I can do is hear Billy Connolly singing, "Your wellies."
I don't know what that is. I just know him from Head of the Class.
Tracey, is this something you're learning from me in one of our videos?
I guess so. I don't know what that's from.
Wellies are those boots that all the Scots wear. You probably have.
I know what they are. I've never heard the song
it's a song
before. Is it a
that Billy
commercial
Connolly sang. Billy Connolly, you and I are talking over each other big time with these earphones on. Billy Connolly, you guys Google it. It's called Wellies, Your Wellies. It's a hilarious song.
Okay, I have the name of. I have the name.
Why are we both doing this?
Lord Lovat is Clive Russell.
Why are we both doing this at the same time? You're supposed to be like talking to the crowd.
Okay, it's Clive Russell is his name. He's fabulous. He's really
he was
great.
In Thor too.
He was in Thor 2, like Thor the Second Story. Awesome. So okay, he's you see his true colors like right off the bat.
He was in, excuse me, Tracey. He was in Ripper Street, which I think is a big UK thing.
Okay. He's basically like, oh yeah,
Game of Thrones.
Who was he in Game of Thrones?
Is it Brynden Blackfish Tully?
He's the Blackfish? Shut up.
Which one's Blackfish?
He's
I knew him.
Caitlin Stark's brother.
Caitlin Stark's brother?
Yeah. He's the uncle. Is
he in the watch?
He's Tully. He's Caitlin's. No, I'm sorry.
I remember her crazy.
Is it her father?
What? I remember her crazy sister.
Because Tobias is her brother.
He was her brother, Tobias?
He was somebody's brother.
Is he dead? Did he die in the Red Wedding, Tobias? Does anyone know?
Tobias is her brother because he was the groom in the Red Wedding. And I think that you just sort of have to assume that he's like either dead or been captured or whatever. But Brynden Tully, he's the father of them, I think.
You're lucky I'm not your kin.
Let's go back and discuss what we're supposed to be
basically
discussing.
He's pretty much a bastard. He tells Claire right off the bat, like, yeah, women, we're going to talk politics now, so skedaddle, honey.
Oh, yeah. Get on out of here. Go find something else to do with your time. Because you're a girl.
Politics.
Yeah.
So Claire's like, and I love that exchange between Claire and Jamie. Like, Claire's like, and Jamie's like, and Claire's like. It was great. It was really great. Claire and Jamie had some good moments together tonight. It was very like.
Yes.
They also had some like, we need to like give a shitload of exposition out, and that's our prime purpose. But they had some nice like bonded moments tonight.
And you know what else I liked about that a lot? I'm sorry, because I can't stop telling you these things. We needed that. We neided to see the two of them.
We wanted the closeness.
We needed the synergy. We needed them working together. And their timing was perfect. They were in step. They were perfect.
Like the cute little moment about the potatoes. Like that, we needed that moment in France. We really did. But enough of France.
Right.
Let bygones be bygones.
Bygones.
Lay bygones be bygones.
All right.
Okay. So, Claire is wandering around looking at the castle, I guess. And who does she see? We had talked about Leary a little bit because Colm had her beaten for her little Cranesmuir, escapades. And that turns out to be foreshadowing because there she is.
Okay. This was this episode's, what are you going to call this? Oh, yeah. WTF moment. Like, we see her come along and we're like, I'm sorry, is that Leghair? Because die.
Yes. And again, as we've said, none of this Leary stuff is in the book. So it's new to us too.
You do not, there's no Leary, there's no crying in baseball, and there's no Leary in Dragonfly in Amber. I'm like,
we might also need to do a little a 90-second spoiler section at the very end because there's a few things to be said. But
I have a confession.
Yes, what?
I think I liked it. It was different, but I didn't hate it.
I hated aspects of it, but I get it. And that's all I will say until our spoiler section at the end. I mean, there were aspects of it that were just awful.
Of course.
Awful.
Of course.
But so Leary's back, and she's like, "Oh, Mistress Clara, I'm so glad I had a chance to talk to you because I'm so sorry." And she like drops to her knees, and Clara's like, "Are you kidding me? Really?"
Did you believe any bit of that she was saying? The entire time I was like, lying, lying, lying.
I didn't know what to think because I was just like, I didn't know what to think. Claire, I guess, was pretty believable, and Claire's like, I've thought of nothing but like, how I would totally like light you on fire and dance on your grave, blah 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 blah. And you'll never have my man. So, like...
Yeah, we don't even, like, need to discuss that. Whatever.
So, the thing that I walked away from with that was her bonnet. Just struck me as very Crucible-esque.
Yes, me too. Totes agree. I thought the same thing.
Abigail, what's her name, lives, I think.
I was thinking to myself, wow, I've been to Salem, Massachusetts at Halloween, and this is what it reminds me of.
And I've been in the Crucible, and that's what it reminds me of, too. So, yeah. So that was a little meaningful for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Jamie and Claire meet back at their room, and Jamie's like, yeah, you get to come to dinner because, you're pretty and you can, like, be decoration. So they go to dinner.
Do you ever see him standing, like, he's standing in front of that fireplace that's massive, and I'm, like, so jealous because I want a fireplace that I could land a plane in.
All right, so we're at the dinner party. First thing I noticed was they have Jenny's glasses. Aren't those, like, the same glasses that Jenny has and that you have? They're pretty much the same. That whole, like, inverse bell shape, very popular in the 18th century in Scotland.
Belinda, here's to you.
So Jamie makes the case for the rebellion, and the French are totally going to come through. And then meanwhile, you see, I didn't get this at first, but it turns out to be young Simon, Lord Lovat.
I didn't get it at first
either. I totally
either.
Didn't get it.
I turned to Tom. I'm like, wait, is that young kid? Like his son?
Totally didn't get it at first. But you see him like, Leary's over there, and he's like, this. And then she's over there, and he's like this.
He's like this?
So, and then Claire sees this all happening, and she's like... Now, I have to ask you, young Simon, who does he look like? Like, I swear to God, it's some other... I mean, he doesn't look like an actor. Like, he looks like an actor playing another role like that. Looks like that. And I can't think of who it is. It's going to come to me. It's just going to be like, boom, at some point. And do you know?
No, and I totes agree. I was like
it's blonder. Whoever. Okay, it's not him. It's somebody else.
Yeah, but that wig was so god awful.
The wig was so god awful.
I believe that I texted you at that point and said Jamie's beard last episode equals the wig, this guy's wig in this episode.
Did you ever see Cold Mountain?
Yes, but I barely remember it.
The dude from Sons of Anarchy, the 50 Shades of Grey dude that wasn't. That dude, he's in Cold Mountain.
There was
he's like really bad.
I even had a blog for Sons of Anarchy because I love that show so much, and now I can't even remember his name because it's been replaced by Travis Fimmel. Because if you ever watch Vikings, Travis Fimmel reminds me of him from Sons of Anarchy, and I can't remember his name.
I don't know the dude's name, but like he's in Cold Mountain, and he's just a bad guy. Like he's really good, but he's a bad evil guy.
Yeah,
and maybe I'm thinking of his look because he's
got
that like
world
sort of. Could
you think of Jax? Teller.
But you have to see in Cold Mountain, he kind of has that like long straggly hair. Okay. But he's better looking than it's another guy, and I can't think of who it is.
Worst wig I've ever seen, ever.
It's really bad. Yeah, that wig was really bad. It is not good.
I mean, I suppose that comes when his hair must be very short. It's kind of giving me Kristen Stewart, aka Bella Swan. Like when she cut off all her hair for that Joan Jett movie. It's just awful.
Okay, so anyway, so Lord Lovat, as I put down, he's all up in Leary's business. Like
business.
It was so gross. It was so gross. But
he's like
totally
pinching her nose.
She deserves to be locked in a room with Lord Lovat. Sorry.
She does.
But she
does. She does.
So
why did Colin bring her in the first place? Because I turned to Tom
Claire's.
Oh no, heck no. I turned to Tom at one point and I'm like, I think I asked you, did he bring Leary because he knows of Lord Lovat's reputation of like, the big thing with one of the big stories with in real life with Lord Lovat was that they say that he raped the kitchen maid.
So you're thinking that like he used her as bait to get Lord Lovat to sign neutrality?
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to see Lord Lovat. I need a kitchen maid to come with me.
Leary.
And when did Leary become the kitchen wench?
I know, right?
Is that because of what she did to Claire?
Maybe she got demoted. I mean, I thought she was just, like...
Sister girl was running around with her hair flowery in the wind and then, just doing whatever you please. What?
Like, worse, she's a laundress. Like, she's like, she's doing his laundry.
Yes, and now she's got the crucible hat and she's pouring the wine.
I know. She's just like doing all the odd jobs that they can't find anybody else to do.
I don't think somebody is hanging out down by the river trying to seduce James Alexander Malcolm Mackenzie Fraser anymore.
But
Fraser.
I do think that's
I said
a good
Fraser,
point.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Ooh. I do think that's a good point that like she was sort of like bait, or she was like, a dowry, if you will.
I think he just brought her, figuring, she might come in handy with the fox, the old fox.
So, Colin is so basically Jamie is left to kind of look a little not foolish, but that his whole that allying with Prince Charlie is not the smartest move in the toolkit, and that young Simon is like the big dope. So, okay, what else?
Yeah, let's move it along.
Lovat wants something, clearly. That's what, they're back in the bedroom, and James like, he wants something, but what? Like, we don't know what he wants. So, then we get to the scene where Claire's walking around, all of a sudden, like, poof, out comes Maisie the Seer, thrown out of the room. Lovat's like, and so Claire helps her, and Maisie the Seer runs away. So we're like, okay, good. Then Jamie meets with Lovat, and we find out what it is that Lovat wants.
Okay, was this from the book?
Again, I do not remember any of the Lovat stuff. I really don't.
Why don't I remember Lovat being so hell-bent on getting Lollybrock?
I don't either. And it's just weird to me. Like, you know what? I don't want to say it's really, really weird because maybe it happened, but I don't think it did. Like, what? First of all, why? Like, why would he want Lollybrock? I mean, like, that's what Jamie asked him, but we asked him too. And he's like, none of your beeswax, why I want it. I just do. But I kind of do want to know, like, what?
Well, he clearly in the show has an issue, excuse me, with Brian not kissing his ass every 5 seconds.
Right.
So it's almost like he is so jealous of his own son, his bastard son at that, who made something of himself and ended up marrying Ellen and had a lovely home and life and children and blah, 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 that he wants it. He's like Mommy Dearest. He's like Joan Crawford taking the soap opera role when Christina's in the hospital. It's gross.
I have to say, the whole Jamie, Lord Lovat relationship, some of the Lollybrock, like the agreeing to like give up Lollybrock stuff was ridiculous. But just that relationship and just what you said, this whole like Lord Lovat hasn't gotten over the fact that somebody, and not just somebody, but his own son, basically was like, F you, I choose her. Like, has not gotten over that because somebody, like, turned him down, and how dare they? And as a result, he's going to do whatever he feels like he needs to do to get back at that, or to have restitution for that. So that was all very cool in this episode. I really liked that aspect of it.
Something that I read today basically said, like, it makes you think that maybe, oh God, I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff about him possibly raping this one and that one and blah, blah, blah. But then they said, but at the same time, he was well known for charity and helping the poor and, his people and blah, 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 blah. So the guy was just so confusing.
I could see that, though. I could see him being all like, the people who are loyal to him, like his tenants, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I could sort of see it in a twisted way.
Right.
All right. So then he's all like, he's like, yeah, I want Lollybrock. And Jamie's like, okay, I'll have to think about it or whatever. And then he's like, well, why don't I just take Lollybrock? Why don't I, like, you can keep Lollybrock and you give me your wife's honor.
Yeah, like that's going to happen.
And so then Jamie starts in on the, like, sure, give it a try. You won't last 2 seconds because she's La Dame Blanche. And he goes into the whole story, and I just kept thinking, like, okay, this is what it was like in France when he made up the La Dame Blanche story. Yeah. And you can tell that he kind of enjoys, like,
he totally does.
He kind of enjoys this whole La Dame Blanche thing. And it's just become a thing with him.
But doesn't it kind of freak you out now that they're back in Scotland that he's pulling this bullshit? Because, she almost died at Cranesmere. Like, Well, yes, agreed. But it's less about that. It's less about that and more about later when Claire actually plays into it. Well, and as we find out at the end of the episode, he, Lovett's no dumbass. He gets it. He's playing along just like Jamie is. But Jamie gets it. Jamie gets it from him.
Yeah. Just seeing how alike in a lot of ways the two of them are. Like, I loved that part where, I don't even remember what it was that Jamie said, but Lovett just about choked on his pretzel or whatever. Yes. Like being like, oh my God, you're so my kin. Like, come on. Like, they're exactly the same.
Yes. Jamie just chooses good while he chooses bad sometimes.
Okay. So, but in any case, now, Lovett's still not, like, on board unless Jamie gives him Lollybrock. So they have a huge problem. So Claire comes up with the idea of, like, well, maybe we could get young Simon to, like, fix everything here.
Right.
Because if, he can see young Simon as, like, really strong and brave, then I don't even remember the logic of this plan.
Neither do I. Because if we can just let Simon look down Leary's shirt, then he's going to be able to rule the world.
It's like the plan was, if you get young Simon, I think it's like if you get young Simon confident, he's going to have the courage to speak up to Lord Lovat about like that the rebellion is meaningful and like important, and Lord Lovat's going to be all impressed. And he's going to be like, oh my God, young Simon, you know, I've totally like misjudged you until this point. Like, what was I thinking?
Yes.
And then Claire wakes up from her delusion after like somebody smartly like bitch slaps her. Like, you know, come on, really? Oh, hold on. Sorry. I'm knocking my power cord out.
Basically,
it was like the dumbest plan ever.
Yeah, basically, you know, seeing down Leary's top has really just changed, you know.
Well, no, she doesn't even know that yet. She doesn't even get that yet.
Well, she just thinks that she's going to make Leary like act interested in him, and he's going to get confidence.
This is
this is so stupid and juvenile.
This is the dumbest sitcom plot ever.
This is like 6th grade bathroom gossip.
This is like the Brady Bunch. This is like a plot on the Brady Bunch. Like,
speaking of the Brady Bunch, did you happen to notice, I'm just taking a quick detour, did you happen to notice the Brady Bunch Bear McCreary music at one point that was...
You said that. You texted me that, and I didn't really get it.
Instead of like in the Brady Bunch, they take the do-do-do-do and they turn it into do-do-do-do-do. Well, the Bear McCreary stuff is do-do-do-do-do, and then this went... I think
it's a little harder to tell on the Bear McCreary stuff, but so I mean, this plan is just like dumb on so many levels. Like, okay, again, you really think that like 1 second of young Simon being a little more confident is gonna like negate 25 years of wussiness? No.
Yes.
Number 2. You're going to like, Claire, what part of Leary tried to kill you do you not understand?
And what part of Leary wants Jamie do you not
Oh, and just in case you forgot that part, Claire, just in case, the next scene is when she's like looking for Leary, and Leary's hanging up the laundry, and she's like, I hope I'm not flashing myself because this is Larry's like this.
I swear to God.
And then Claire's like, is that Jamie's shirt? And Leary's like, but you're still on board with like bringing her into a plan to like stop colluding. Claire, what have you been smoking? You masturbating back like a little extra like bit of cascara.
Leary's like using Jamie's shirt, doing that horse.
Oh my God.
She's like,
oh my God. Oh my God, is my mascara running?
And Claire's all, what are you doing with this shirt? I'm afraid to see what that's going to look like.
Oh my God. It was, I was just like, I have to read these notes because like, wait. All right, Claire's plan. Could young Simon fix things? Needs confidence. So let's get Larry on the plan. What the WTF, Claire? You see her sniffing his shirt. Then she like gets Leary on the plan that Lord Lovat would be convinced about the rebellion if young Simon stood up to him. How dumb are you guys? Like I literally had that written in capital letters. Like, Oh my God. So Claire goes, so Claire sets this plan up with the woman who tried to kill her. That she's gonna like, go talk to Simon and be all like, flirty and stuff and win him over. Okay, so we get the hell out of that, cluster F.
I'm watching it right now.
Okay.
Is that Jamie's shirt? I've done nothing to it except sniff the hell out of it.
Except, like sniff it pretending that like, well, I'm not even going to go there.
She should have said, I was just checking to make sure I washed it thoroughly.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Yes, move it way along because we are so in need of moving along.
I know. Okay, so Jamie and Colm now have a little scene. Jamie sort of hints around that like he knows that I think he hints that like they have to join the rebellion because otherwise it's gonna fail. And Colm's like, how do you know that? And Jamie's like, I just do. I don't even know what they really talk about at that point. They're talking about Lollybrock as such this prize, and I was like, again, I'm not quite sure yet why Lord Lovat wants it so much and what kind of a prize it is, other than, as we've talked about, like a pride prize, but whatever.
Right.
But I do like that moment with Colm. I wrote down that he says, promise me that you won't trade Lollybrock for a war you cannot win. Like, I think Colm, like, he and Jamie have their issues, but I think at the end of the day, Colm really respects Jamie. I really do. And I think Jamie really respects Colm. And Colm does not want to see Jamie hurt or...
Well, yeah. I think it's sort of like Colm, no matter what he did to Claire, it was always kind of for Jamie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not just for Jamie, but he doesn't... Jamie's his kin.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about Claire. He cares about Jamie.
Right. So, okay. Then we see Claire arm in arm with young Simon, and I just have written down, young Simon, that hair. God.
That wig is so god-awful. It's like too far down. I can't figure out what's happening there. It's so bad.
So, and I just, once again, we're back in like, 2.5 Men with like, whatever, like pick whatever sitcom it is that like there's like, misunderstandings and like laugh tracks and like whatever.
So nice of you to volunteer to show me the chapel, Master Lovat.
I believe it was your idea.
Come on, knock on our door.
Yes. And then,
we've been waiting for you.
And then, and I mean, and it's like the jokes are so stupid. Like Claire's like, "Oh, thank you for inviting me to go see the church," and young Simon's like, "Oh, I think you asked me if I could take you." That's where like the laugh track. You hear the like laugh track there.
It's like, Claire, of all of the cockamamie ideas you've had, this one's the cockamamiest.
This is why Diana didn't write it, you guys. I'm sorry, whatever, but no. So
why does he like Leary?
Because she's hot. She's sweet and innocent.
I'm sure,
as
like the
John
Game
Osmond says.
I'm sure, like the Game of Thrones people, she is in real life, but in the show, man, with her bonnet.
No, because she's all like, I'm sure she's one of those girls that like, maybe guys see this, that like, she looks sweet on the outside, but they just know there's like a tiger in there,
You're not going to take Leary home to mama.
No.
No, but he's like sweet.
He is sweet. All right, so...
Can we hurry up? Because I got to go to bed.
I know, but I'm just getting my second wind here now, and I'm on fire here.
I have no
So Claire, they're walking around like, oh, look who's over there. Is it Leary? Oh, Leary, have you met young Simon? Oh, well, I think I'm just going to go, explore the church. Have fun. And Claire, like, scurries off and leaves the two of them there.
And Leary says, do you want to see my tits? Oh, wait, wrong accent.
No.
Wrong accent. Do you want to see my tits? Larry's tits.
So she's like, I don't even know what she asked him if he likes, and he's like, no, but I like poetry. And then he starts reciting something, and
he starts boring the shit out of
it. What did I text you, Carol? I was like, young Simon, like, to be or not today. Leary, want to make out?
Okay.
Okay. So Claire goes to the church. She meets Maisie the Seer there. Like, did she know Maisie the Seer was going to be there? Or did she just... She must have known. Because she's from the future.
The future. You just said, what did I text you? So I pulled it out. Okay. Lovat Jr., to be or not to be? This Leary stuff is pretty dang stupid. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Oh, no. Leary, well, that comes in with
Leary, Lovat Jr., to be or not to be? Leary, want to make out? Then you have, yeah, DG knows what jumping the shark is. I was like, maybe Diana is, I was like, Tracey, Diana has like a gazillion degrees. Like, she was like studying ecology while we were like watching Happy Days. Maybe
she's like her marine biology or like marine research is like her specialty. Ecology.
She has a PhD.
So maybe for her, jumping the shark is like more of like a academic term.
Literal shark jump by killer whales.
I think she gets it.
Yeah, right, you're like, right. I think she understands. So you go, this is like out of blanking Full House. And then I go, did Lovat want Lollybrock in the book? And you go, maybe don't remember. And then you go, but Simon did not see Leary's boobs in the book.
Okay. So
this is like the Bridget Fonda movie with the psycho.
You're getting ahead of yourself. But it was totally like the Bridget Fonda movie with the psycho roommate. But okay, we're in the church with Maisie the Seer. Okay, focus, because we don't have too much more to do. She basically like tells Claire, I don't know why she's in the church. I don't know if Claire knew she was going to be there. Whatever. She basically tells Claire, okay, yeah, I saw that he like gets, the Axeman is there, but I don't know like who's axing him. I saw a death at the hands of an executioner. Okay. So then Claire goes, and there's Larry, and Larry's like, yeah, I don't know. I tried, Claire, sorry.
Showed him my
like, whatever. And then now I'm going to teach you another thing, and I don't think you're going to know what this is. Do you know what the rule of threes is?
Yes.
Okay,
please.
The rule of threes is, in comedy, like, the third thing, if you're, like, listing, like, one funny thing is, like, to list things, and it's always the third thing that's the funny thing. They used to do this really well. Michael Gross from Family Ties, there are instances of him doing this that are, like, I would just pee my pants laughing. It's so funny.
Dad, if you just give us a chance, we can explain everything.
Can you? Can you explain the valet parking in the driveway? The flashing vacancy sign in front of the house? The billboard on Route 41?
And they do a rule of threes in this scene. Like it is frickin' 2.5 Men.
Which scene are you on now?
Right now. Clary's like, yeah, I did everything I did everything I thought you wanted me to do, Claire. I flattered him. I told him I admired his strength. I showed him my boobs. Like, and again, rule of threes. Like, you laugh, like the third one is, boom. They do a lot of it up front, too.
What's not to like? Custard, good. Jam, good. Meat, good.
And I'm just like, really? That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing. It's 2.5 Men.
What did you do? Everything you said. I flattered him. I told him how much I admired a man who made decisions he thought for himself. I gave him a kick down the front of my dress. I told you it wasn't about sex.
You know, they might as well just like put Charlie Sheen on because, you know. It was just not good. Just not good. So Claire's plan is spoiled again. And now
If it
Jamie's
wasn't for
like,
those meddling kids.
If it wasn't for that meddling Leary. So Jamie's like, then it just gets worse. Jamie's like, oh well, guess I'm gonna have to give up Lollybrock. Bummer. Really? How did you feel about that?
Say this again.
Did you believe it? Jamie and Claire are back in the bedroom talking, and Jamie's basically
Never.
like, okay, guess I'm gonna have to give up Lollybrock. Bummer.
Never believe. No.
And
no.
I was like, are you kidding me?
No,
are you kidding
never.
me?
No, I never ever believed.
No, of course not. He would no more give up Lollybrock.
He is his grandsire's grandson. That's the bottom line. He's messing. He is playing whatever side he has to. He's full of shit, and no. I never
Well,
even
see,
thought
here's
that.
the thing.
He was bluffing.
I thought he was bluffing. I don't think he was bluffing when he was talking to Claire in their bedroom. He was like, I don't know what else to do. I'm going to have to give up Lollybrock. And then maybe I think that the plan at the Lollybrock signing, where Claire drops the glass or the cup and is all like, oh, I see a vision. I think that was all staged. I have to believe that, because if that was real and Jamie was really going to sign over Lollybrock and Claire just came up with this plan like instantaneously.
Wait, you thought her vision might be real?
No, it wasn't real. I think that what happened was in their bedroom after all the
they
stuff,
planned the whole thing with him.
Jamie was like, I guess I'm going to have to give up Lollybrock. And Claire was like, snap out of it. We're like going to figure out something here.
She was like, the hell you will. This is our future.
This is our future. But it's just the fact that Jamie even thought for 1 second, even said to Claire seriously for 1 second that he was going to have to give up Lollybrock, makes me very sad. Just very sad.
It didn't make me sad at all. He would never do it,
sad
ever.
Clown tears. But I think by the time they got to the signing, they knew what they had a plan in place. And that was a good plan. That was no Leary plan. That was a good plan.
Are we doing a minute at the end of this of spoiler
Yes, we
stuff?
have to. We have to.
Okay, because remind me I have something about Lollybrock and him giving up the possibility, which he would never do. Okay, let's keep moving. Come on.
This, you said this before about, like, don't you think Claire would be a little bit concerned after the whole Grangemere thing of, like, you know, the whole of being called a witch? This is where I was like,
in front of everyone in the Great Hall.
You're really wanting to do this? Like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? In front of Lord Lovat and like all his, you know, all his cronies. Like basically you're you know, saying that you're a federal agent to like Tony Soprano and like you know, and like Silvio and like, you know, Christopher. And all those guys.
Christopher. I've got a 2 p.m. foliage.
You know, really?
Yeah, no. It was, I couldn't believe this was happening. I was like, are you, what? Like, she's really going to sit here and do this again? Are you kidding me?
When she didn't even do it the first time, and she still got almost like thrown on the pyre.
But Tracey, there's a difference between black magic
I forgot she's
and
La
Dame Blanche.
She's white witch. She practices white magic. It's like the Wicked Witch of the West.
I was just going to say, call her Glenda. She's Glenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So wait.
Oh my God, I have to go to bed.
Is he really going to fake being a witch when she was almost put to death for it? Okay, so then... Oh, yeah, right. So when Lord Lovat is like, yeah, die, you witch! And young Simon stops him. Young Simon's all like, Stop that right now.
Young Simon's all like, take your damn hands off of her.
Oh my God. Claire, that whole plot is exactly that plot. That's what that is. Oh my God. It's exactly like as convoluted as that plot, as Back to the Future.
I'm writing this down so I remember to Google it.
Oh my God. No, I already have that clip. We've used that clip before.
Okay.
I don't remember where, but we've used it before. So maybe we won't use it this time.
Hey, you, get your damn hands off.
But it's exactly that like plot that Marty McFly hashed up. Ugh, oy vey. So I don't know whether Lord Lovat is like all that impressed, but he decides, well, I'm going to sign with the Mackenzies for neutrality. So Jamie and Claire are like, okay, whatever. But they've got young Simon. He's going with them. I thought Jamie and Colm had a nice moment. You don't have anything written down at this point, right?
No, Colm's leaving. Although I have to say that Tom's reaction when they showed the wide shot of Colm getting in, walking toward the carriage with his legs, Tom goes, oh.
They did have a good shot of his legs. The very last shot was like the only really good shot of his legs.
That's what he was talking about.
That was like, they've spent so much money on CGIing in France that like they have nothing left for Colm's legs. You got one shot. You decide where it's going to be, director Mike or whatever your name is.
Yeah, well, this might have been done beforehand, seeing as Jamie's hair was so much shorter.
So I did think that they had a nice moment at the carriage. And then Claire is like, okay, Jamie, just go thank Leary for what she did. And Jamie's like, the fuck?
Jamie's all, I don't know what I'm thanking you for, but thank you. Like, wasn't that defeating the purpose? Wasn't he supposed to be?
Jamie was like, let me say, what?
Homie, don't play that. Wasn't?
Just go. Again, I cannot say this enough, you guys. The woman who tried to kill her is now her bestie.
Well, I guess she's figuring she might need her again and keep the peace. But I'm just like, Jamie, this kind of reminded me of me in my life because I would have been grabbing Tom, but I would have been like, look, don't say this, don't say this, don't say this. You have to say this, this, and this, but make sure you don't say, you know what I mean? Like,
but would
she's
you
just
have
like,
been doing that?
go say thank you. You don't understand. I'll explain later. So he goes over, he's like, thank you. I don't know why I'm thanking you, but whatever. Whatever.
Would you have done that to someone who tried to kill you? And even if by some bump on the head, you were all like, I love that person now. Wouldn't Tom be like, Car, she tried to kill you?
I guess Claire feels like she was 16. She didn't know any better. And now she's doing the kitchen wench stuff and, that she's trying to make amends, whatever. I guess Claire said, God, Claire, you dumbass. Is Claire one of these people who's so incredibly intelligent when it comes to like medical stuff and herbs that she can't see?
There's
like
no common sense.
Yeah, she has zero common sense, no street smarts, and is like, you know what I mean? So I don't really know, but it was very strange. It was very strange. And it was very strange. Like I said, I've said it 3 times that Jamie went over and was like, thanks. I don't know what I'm thanking you for. That defeats the purpose. You're supposed to be making Leary think that thank you. You're supposed to be playing the game. You're not playing the game. You just play the friggin' game with frickin' Lord Lovat, the old fox, and yet you can't outsmart Leary.
All right. So yes, he goes over. He's like, okay, Clara told me I had to come thank you. So
right before Leary hopped on the rumble seat and took off in the rain. Okay. Did they ride all the way back to what's
Castle Leoghaire.
My God, I'm forgetting Leoghaire. They ride all the way back to Leoghaire with Leary in the rumble seat in the rain? Like, really?
Well, wait, because you skipped. All right, so after Jamie says, Claire made me come over here and say thank you, and she's like, I hope that one day I can earn your forgiveness.
And your
And
love.
your love.
I'm not going to be ignored.
That's what she should have done.
Leary will not be ignored, Carol.
Girlfriend should have showed Jamie her breasts.
No, he's already seen them and
Grabbed them and all of that. And Diana gave it her blessing.
Oh God. Just
And then Lord Lovat comes along and lets us know that he's been in control the entire time and he's going to give his men. The minute all those guys showed up, I said to Tom, they're Lovat's guys. Like he was bluffing over the place.
I
mean,
he's all good. He figured out a way where he can give his guys, but not not have his fingerprints on it, I guess, whatever. So
right.
It's all good. And then that's pretty much it.
Yes. So
that's pretty much
all
it.
of you non-book readers, we love you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Wait. Before we break for spoilers, can we just, now that we've gone through the whole episode,
we break for spoilers.
Before we break for spoilers, was that the jumping the shark moment that Diana spoke of? And do you agree that it was a jumping the shark moment?
Excuse me. I would not call it jumping the shark. See, that's where I was saying I'm not sure if Diana's 100%. And that's a compliment to Diana because she's too intelligent to be bothering with shows and jumping the shark terminology. But I don't think for me, it wasn't a jump. I mean, okay. For me, it was a what the frackin' what the F moment. But it wasn't a shark jumper.
Right. A shark jumper to me is like, I'm done with this show. Yeah. I'm done with this show.
And Diana never meant it to sound like that. You could tell what she said after that or whatever. She was just like spitting. Like every once in a while you use a phrase that might not be perfect, it's kind of close, but she did not mean that like, oh, you're never going to want to watch again.
Right.
And I knew that when I saw it.
It wasn't Tom Cruise, or it wasn't Anne Rice being like, Tom Cruise is never going to be good as Lestat, ever. He's going to suck. No, it wasn't that.
No, and I knew the minute I saw what she said when I read it, I was like, she doesn't really mean. She just, you could tell, like, she just means like people aren't going to be happy. That's all.
And
I
really agree with that. I think, no, was it a jump the shark? I'll never watch the show again. Of course not. Was it? And as we're going to talk about in a second, it doesn't surprise me that they did something with Leary at all, but it was just so dumb, and it was so unbelievable in terms of everything that has come before. That Claire would just be like sort of looking the other way and be like, all right, well, I hate you and you almost killed me, but like, no, let's be in this like Back to the Future plot together.
Weird.
It was really bizarre.
The bottom line is, once again, they just cannot get it on screen the way it is on the script. And there's no way. They know that certain things are just going to be boring. There's not enough aha moments. They wanted to bring in some aha moments. They wanted to keep the Leary storyline going. They that's the bottom line. They knew that this was just not going to be entertaining visually. They had to keep other things happening.
I do not want to see a sitcom Rule of 3 moment in Outlander ever. Sorry, but I don't. Because Rule of 3 demands a laugh track.
Are you going to stop watching?
No, of course not.
Well, then who cares? There you go. You just answered your own question.
No. So, I said it before. It didn't jump the shark in that context. But it was really not my favorite choice that has ever been made in. And I'm on board with a lot of the differences between, as we've said many times.
Right.
I'm on board with many of the changes. This one, and like this one was just it was just dumb. It was just dumb. It made Claire look dumb. It was very inconsistent.
It made Claire look dumb.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I'm one of those spoiler freaks. I'm also one of those non-rereading. Like I've read Outlander 2-3 times. I don't reread all these books because I really am one who loves the element of surprise. So for me, new stuff was kind of fun. It was fun. I'm not saying I certainly didn't like it any better than the books, but for me, it was just fun this time around. As long as they don't mess with major plot lines and points, and I'm fine.
Right.
And this, to me, they got the job done. They went to see Simon Fraser. They went to see Lord Lovat. They got they accomplished what they set out to accomplish, and they made it somewhat interesting along the way. And in the same time, it's a vehicle to keep Leary in the storyline. That's really all they did.
I agree. And they're back in Scotland, which says a lot, which is a big bonus.
And James
I did like, I liked all of the Jamie Lord Lovat stuff, as I said.
Right.
It's not one of my favorite episodes. In fact, as I was watching it the second time, I was kind of doing other things too.
Interestingly enough, Tom loved it.
I wish he would come on. Damn it.
Oh, he's probably asleep. He at the end, I was like, what the what? Like Tracey and I have just been what? And Tom was like, I really thought that was a good episode.
So it'll be very interesting to see what people think. Not one of my favorites, but a lot of good elements and just a lot of like clunky elements, but whatever.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk a little bit after that, like we're gonna like let not all the people who don't want to be spoiled, all the non-book readers who don't want to know anything, you go off on your merry way, and we'll see you next week. Have a good Memorial Day. All the rest of you, stick around.
Excuse me, spoiler alert.
Okay. So clearly,
we're keeping Leary in the storyline.
Now, clearly, this is the purpose of this is to get us to like Leary a little more, I think.
How are you going to like Leary, though, from the very end when she's like, and get you to love me?
Get you to love me.
Think about it. I think
they're doing? That Bridget Fonda movie, I'm telling you right now.
You know what I think they're doing? I think they're trying to make things interesting going forward because they're trying to make like when you I can spoil, right? Spoil, guys.
Listen to Sheldon, you guys.
I'm going there.
I'm telling you, Sheldon is not lying.
I'm going there. I am spoiling right now. So like after you go through the whole, I better still hear, Daddy, who is that woman? I better still hear that, number one. Number two, after you find out about that they were married and this and that and blah, 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 you're going to be even more pissed. Do you think that maybe what they're doing is trying to make the audience, the book reading audience, look a little bit more favorably upon Jamie for marrying her? Because I remember you said you threw the book across the room when you saw that. Mm-hmm. I never, the one who the Indian, the girls, I threw a fit. And yet with this, I never blamed Jamie. I said he thought Claire was gone. He was lonely. He never knew that Leary was horrific. So maybe they needed to bring it across that, okay, Claire's forgiven Leary, so it's okay for Jamie to have forgiven Leary.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, I think that in my eyes, the purpose is just to make it a little more believable that Jamie would end up with her.
Would marry her in the first place. Right.
Yes, because like in the books, the last time you see Leary is Cranesmere. And she's not even really at Cranesmere. So you just know that she like ratted Claire out.
Yeah, she was never a Clan.
No.
Honestly, in the book, I blame Colin more than her. She's just this dumbass schoolgirl who writes a little letter and is like, hee, and that's it.
Right. But she was drawn much more as a villain in the show. So why would it be believable that Jamie would marry her, that would end up with her?
Right.
So they have to
Get around
at
that.
least get the two of them fooled
Right.
into thinking she's turned over a new leaf. She's, seen the error of her ways, whatever, so that when it's revealed or we see, because I have a feeling that that's I don't know that you're going to get your moment, because I have a feeling that we're going to see it happen. When it does happen, it's not going to be so much of a surprise or so unbelievable.
How could they take away the greatest aha moment in the Outlander series?
I don't even
seriously.
think that's the greatest aha moment. I mean, it's a great aha moment. I think that Claire showing up at the door of Roger, 20 years older with a grown daughter,
right,
is equally
right.
homage.
But I mean, Daddy, who is that woman? Come on out. That was like,
yeah. No, it was great.
So
it was really
we
great.
don't get that, man.
We're clearly not, because it's being set up. You can see that's why they brought her back. Why else would they do it? Because this plot was so dumb. The young Simon plot was so dumb.
Okay, well, they make her look so dumb, and now we're going to see Jamie all, okay, sure, I'll marry you.
And I feel like that's like, is Jamie looking really gullible because of this?
Yeah.
Like,
and Jenny can't see through this crazy chick?
Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens when they get to that point, but it makes me sad that we won't see Jenny anymore this season, and we only saw her once so far. I had that in my notes, like I was thinking that, I mean, the non-book readers wouldn't know this, but this is the last time. It's the last time Claire sees Jenny for 20 years.
Wasn't this when she told? Yes, and wasn't this when she told Jenny to grow the potatoes when she was leaving?
It was when she left. It was when she left. When she was going to search for Jamie after Jamie was kidnapped.
But Jenny was with her then.
Yeah, when Jenny was leaving, she's like, Jenny, grow potatoes.
I thought it was now that she told Jenny grow potatoes because they were heading off.
No, they did last season.
And she knew Culloden was coming. I mean,
But she knew it then too. She knew it when they went.
But she was with Jenny. Jamie was taken, and the two of them took off.
Right, but then eventually Murtaugh came back.
I remember it as being much more of a goodbye when she told them grow potatoes.
No, I think it was last season, because they obviously had the potatoes were in, and they were like,
potatoes were in.
Claire.
In the book, I don't remember seeing the potatoes come to fruition. I just remember her telling them plant potatoes.
It was in Outlander. I'm fairly certain of that.
I believe you're fairly certain, but I think I'm going to look that up just to make sure.
Okay, we'll see. But yeah,
then we're going to have 25 comments on the potatoes.
It just made me sad. Like, this is the last time that Claire will see Jenny for 20 years. It's the
Tracey,
last time Jamie will see Jenny for 10 years.
You're assuming that it's going to be like the book.
Although,
did we not just
it's not
see
the last time that Jenny will see Jamie for 10 years. Jamie will be back in a year. Did
we not just see Leary? Don't assume anything. It makes an ass out of you and me.
Well, I know. And I mean, I don't know if it's going to be 20 years. I don't know. Can I just tell you what my jumping the shark theory was? And I don't know that I was trying to think.
Just say it fast so we can jump the bed.
Okay.
Because I'm tired.
But I wouldn't think this would be jumping the shark, because I think it would be pretty cool. We know that there's an unresolved plot twist or plot item that we are going to need to find out. And what that is that Claire is going to be using a gemstone to get back. Because in the very first episode, I finally, oh my God, apologies to anybody's out. I'm so far behind with my Outlander podcasts. It's pathetic, and I apologize to everyone in the world that makes them, that I listen to. But I just started listening to the
kind of like me and blogging.
I know, right? I just started listening to the Ron Moore ones, which has been really interesting, because I'm going back and I'm hearing about episode 1 and episode 2 and remembering stuff. And one thing is, remember at the very beginning, Claire has the ring. I know, me too. Private joke. Claire has the ring, and she's looking around for the stone, and the stone's not there. Remember? And it looks like it's Jamie's signet ring.
They didn't show us that for nothing.
Somewhere along the line, she has to discover that she can use a gemstone to get back. And my idea was that it was going to be, she was going to encounter Master Raymond and the Comte again. Because as you all know, and again, this is a spoiler for anybody who hasn't read, like, the later novellas, the Comte is a traveler, the Comte is alive. I don't even really remember.
Raymond is a traveler.
Raymond is a traveler. I mean, people I think knew that.
Do you know what I just read the other day that I never knew this? I almost don't want to tell you this because I'm like, am I spoiling?
What?
Diana Gabaldon has it on her FAQ page. And I don't know, maybe I did know this and I just forgot. Raymond is like Claire's great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Oh, from like a billion years ago. Yeah, well, Raymond was like from like the year 400 or something. He's like some crazy...
But do you remember Raymond being bloodline with Claire?
I don't know that we know that from the books. I think that's just like in the Master Raymond book that's going to happen one of these days. Like that's something, I don't know.
She says that that's why he knows immediately the aura. I thought she basically said that anybody with that aura like is related to him. And as was Gillis, which would make Gillis related to Claire.
Which would make Claire related to Roger, which would make Roger and Bree related. Ew.
Roger, as we now know, is not Roger, it's Fergus. Fergus is related to the Comte.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's one thing that I'm like, okay, something's got to happen for us to discover, for Claire to discover that she can use a gemstone to get back. And how's that going to happen? And that's where I thought the jumping the shark was coming in. And I was like, well, that's not really a jump the shark because that would be kind of cool if that happened. But
yeah, I didn't really think of that at all. But I don't remember when she goes back at the end of Dragonfly.
She just goes back. She doesn't have
she just goes back.
Or anything. She just goes back. They don't discover the gemstone stuff until Voyager,
they watch
I think.
Gillis go forward.
Yes, because Gillis has a bunch of gemstones. Yes. So,
does it ever hit you guys? Every once in a while, it hit me last night. Like, holy shit, Voyager! Like, when you think about Voyager on the screen and everything, it's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so great. Oh, and it's going to be on Sunday nights, too. We forgot to talk about that in the main podcast, but, like, everybody will be listening right now anyway, because nobody ever goes away. Because they can't, like, stay away. I'm psyched about that. I'm sorry. The Saturday nights are, like, so deadly, because, you know, I go out on Saturday nights. Like, I do stuff, and I'm never home at 9 o'clock. And that means I have to, like, sometimes I'm home at 10, and half the time I have to be up till midnight and watch the Midnight Show and live tweet it, because I really want to do that. And I don't get to bed till like 2 a.m.
That's on you.
Why?
You don't need to do the midnight broadcast.
Well, if I don't get home till 11:30, yes, I do.
Well, if you don't get home till 11:30 and you're tired, go to bed.
But again, they depends on us.
Oh, they don't depend on shit. Give me a break. They don't care. Do you guys care? Come on.
Oh, I think.
Are you going to lose sleep if Tracey like isn't tweeting at midnight? It's fun, but come on now. If you need to sleep, then go to sleep.
Well, once it's on Sundays, that's much easier. So
for me, it depends. Sometimes I'm just home because I'm like kind of a loser, so I'm home a lot on Saturday nights, and I'm like, I'm sitting here. Usually Tom's asleep next to me, so I'm like, I'm gonna grab that remote control and I'm gonna live tweet at 9 o'clock. But then other times if we're out and I come home, that's when it's really fun to live tweet because that's when I'm like,
I know. All right, we're at 146, which is our longest video of the season. So, time to say goodnight. That's it. Leave us a note in the comments. Visit us on myountlanderpurgatory.com, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, blah, 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 blah. Any last words, Carol?
Watch Turn because Ben Talmadge got laid last week.
I thought you were going to say laid off and he's not going to be on anymore. Like he was killed off.
Oh, that's when I jumped the shark, baby. It's so fantastic. You don't even know how
Like,
fantastic.
wait, is that significant because he hadn't before or?
It's not really too much of a spoiler because I'm sure there's a lot of people who wouldn't even care, but it was really awesome. And what Beth was saying about how there was one female character, we're in season 3. I mean, there are some major plot lines going on with female characters.
Like Molly Pitcher, like Betsy Ross.
So funny. Last week, I was like, is she going to be like turned into Molly Pitcher? You got to
Martha
study,
Washington?
Tracey, you got to Google Peggy Shippen, AKA Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. You so cool. I'm dying. You guys ever watch anything historical that you're dying to Google, but you can't because then you get spoilers?
If you ever read this book, Loving Frank, which is about Frank Lloyd Wright and his mistress, do not Google Frank Lloyd Wright until you are done with the book.
Yep.
Trust me on this one. It's a good book.
Yep.
You should read it. Okay. That's it, you guys. We will see you next week. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Enjoy it. Star of
Enjoy.
Summer. Woohoo. And we will see you guys next week.